Recorded Books presents Striving for Justice, A Black Sheriff in the Deep South by Nathaniel Glover. Narrated by James Shippy. Preface. If your mind can conceive it, you can achieve it. Morning descended on downtown Jacksonville, Florida, with temperatures simmering at 83 degrees by 11 a.m. and heading to an afternoon steam bath in the high 90s. Oppressive humidity, nary a passing cloud or breeze. A blistering, brutal, and ultimately notorious day in the Deep South. The date, August 27th, 1960. Tyrannical racial segregation still was being enforced in Jacksonville and throughout the South. But the thick summer air was beginning to stir with protest, challenge, and action. Young African American men and young African American women were demanding change. These small groups of civil rights activists advocated and adhered to a policy of nonviolence. Their strategy was to peacefully demand a bus seat of their choice, a classroom with white peers, and a cup of coffee at a segregated lunch counter. These things don't seem like much to us today, do they? A bus seat, a decent education, a cup of coffee. But they were important. For us, they were the most fundamental elements of momentum toward true equality. Now, during the summer of 1960, the national media was paying attention. White supporters were joining the cause, and sometimes the protests. Musicians and other artists were taking notice. Before long, the whole world was watching and listening. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. In the sweltering heat of a summer day in 1960, in the segregated Deep South city of Jacksonville, Florida, a small group of young black men and women risked their lives for the cause of justice. They bravely sat in an intimate space with rabid racists, whose hot breath and spittle coated the young people's necks. The indomitable protestors would return the next day to face the vitriol again, and again, and again. But one day, the predictable pattern of segregationists shifted, bent on more violence. One of the white segregationists drove a truck chock full of baseball bats and axe handles into the town square in order to beat the nonviolent black protesters. But not only them. This mob's terrorism was unleashed on every black person, young or old, man or woman, adult or child, within their crazed reach. Innocent blood ran in the streets from the mob's indiscriminate attacks. No black person was safe. There were myriad shouts, curses, and two-handed swings. The air was filled with the dull thuds of wood meeting flesh, and the pavement was laden with streams of blood. About an hour after the onslaught, a 17-year-old black boy left his dishwashing job at Morrison's Cafeteria, across from the park. Warned earlier by his white supervisor of the violence that was taking place outside, he chose to stay at work to complete his tasks. When he was ready to depart for home, he found himself the only black person now on the street. While the protesters had been run off, the angry mob lingered in the area. The young man stood out like a sore thumb and was quickly surrounded by a group of indignant vigilantes. The assailants' faces, twisted with the rage of social dominance under the perceived threat of extinction, taunted the young man. "Hey, boy," an angry voice commanded from the crowd. "Hey, nigger," another voice followed with just as much ferocious hate. "What you doing here?"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?